Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Rivers Art Colors. This time I'm working on Superman, and I've got him in a fierce flying position. As usual, I penciled and inked this in Manga Studio EX, and now I've got it transported over to Photoshop. The flats are already down. I'm just going in and putting in my midtones. What you'll notice about this one, in the background, I have my character drawing of Superman that I'm using as reference. This kind of shows you, I've posted some of my other Justice League character drawings like Aquaman and Cyborg, and if you haven't seen the videos for those, I will have those in the links, or I'll have it in the annotations in the video, and you can check those out. But this is where those kind of character guides really come in handy, especially like while I'm coloring. It's nice to be able to just go load that up and use the color picker to sample the colors I already have to keep things consistent, as far as colors go. Um, I did. I've noticed. I'm kind of starting to draw his face a little different, though. I made it a little bit more narrower than how I had it before, but I kind of like it that way, and that's to be expected whenever you draw or redraw characters. They it tends to, even when you're trying to keep it the same and trying to keep some familiarity with how you've drawn the character before for consistency's sake. You're still going to make alterations on the way, and the more and more you draw a character, the better you get at it, and the more you kind of figure out what you like and dislike about it, and things that you want to change and things you want to keep and drop out. It happens with my characters that I've created, in sometimes in the same book. When I'm working on interior artwork, I'll notice, oh, I kind of started drawing the character a little bit more this way, and I don't think it's ever anything too drastic, but it's bound to happen. Now, with all that art jibber jabber out of the way, I did want to speak a little bit on my thoughts on the Justice League movie, which was a few months ago, and sadly, it didn't do very well, I guess, at the box office, and I think the critical response was pretty mixed on it. As far as myself, I enjoyed it. Um, I did think that the villain was, pretty typical. It was pretty much your typical, punchy, stabby, uh, long monologues about nothing kind of villain. But with that aside, I think it was a really good Justice League movie. I thought it was as considering they had to kind of do the whole bring Superman back to life storyline in addition to forming the league. I thought it was handled well. I like the characterizations of most of the league. Flash, I'm a little iffy, a little on the fence about, just because I really, really like the TV portrayal, the Grant Gustin Flash. This one was okay. It just, I don't know. It actually seemed like they were borrowing a lot from that version of the Flash from the TV version. So I guess I didn't mind that, but and they just amped up the comedic antics with him much more than the CW version. But I don't know. I still overall I really dug the movie. I thought the effects were pretty good. I thought getting back to Superman, since that's what I'm working on right now. I really liked when Superman comes in. Spoilers: when Superman comes in the third act of the movie. I think I think that's the version, that's probably the best version of the character we've seen. It's a nice even tone, even kill between what we got in Man of Steel and a more kind of classic, you know, Boy Scout version of Superman. I mean, even down to the point where I swear they up the saturation and contrast on his costume when he popped up in full costume. I thought it was pretty cool. We got to see him do some powers that he hasn't done in any of the movies thus far. The freeze breath or the cold breath, and I don't know. And he just seemed a lot more upbeat than we saw him in Man of Steel and in Batman versus Superman. So that was pretty cool. It really made me want to see more Superman. Hopefully we'll get a sequel to either Justice League or another Superman sequel. But I don't know. Seems unlikely now with how it underperformed. But as a and I will say I am kind of biased on most superhero movies, even the ones that aren't the best. I have a soft spot in my heart for them. So, don't take my word for it. If you haven't seen it, see it for yourself. But other than that, I don't know. Other than the Justice League movie, I've been getting caught up on a lot of things that I haven't that I've kind of missed out on because of work or just life things. But I got a PlayStation 4 and I've been playing a lot of Injustice 2, and that's another thing kind of fueling my I don't know, my likelihood of drawing more DC characters here soon. I'm gonna try to make some time to do other characters though. I really want to do a couple of Spider-Man pieces, and I really want to work on some Marvel stuff too. I got in the back of my head. There's a Avengers picture that I really want to draw. So hopefully I'll get to it this year. I've been doing some traditional media stuff too. I've been getting back to my acrylic paints, and I'm trying to improve my skill in that media. And I've done two pieces so far, and if you follow my Instagram or my Facebook, you might be seeing some of those pieces pop up on there. I'm not going to say what they are because one of those pieces is a painting that I've owed a good friend of mine for quite a while now, but thankfully she's been very, very, very patient with me on this. I can be, when it comes to stuff that I have a really specific idea how I want to do it, I tend to take a little bit longer on those kind of pieces. For the most part, this drawing that you're watching me render of Superman, I rendered it really quickly, and again, that's in part thanks to the guide that I'm color sampling from. There's less of me having to kind of think what works best for the tone of the suit because I already did it once and I'm just kind of sampling from that. But I did make a couple of alterations. You'll notice like I made the I don't know, the suit's gonna end up looking a little bit shinier than how I had it in the character guide, and I did that on purpose to make it pop just a little bit more. I really I don't know. I think I might end up using this. I really liked how it turned out for the most part, and I think I might end up repurposing this shot of Superman in maybe in the collage of some of the other DC heroes. Let me know what you think. If you want to see something like that, I'll get working on it. I've got a Batman piece that I'm penciling right now, and I might throw that up here too. If you guys want to see that, I'll include a coloring video of that. But most of this is again, like, not a whole lot of changes with the way that I'm coloring my process. It's just a lot of that soft airbrush, and for the highlights, I'm using the solid brush. Nothing super fancy with it. So anyway, other than getting drawn into the Injustice video game and working on my acrylic skills, I've been I don't know, I've just been doing a lot of reading and trying to slowly get back into writing, which is, it's not that easy right now, because I find that the more things I have on my mind, is the harder it is to write in a weird way. The more personal things I've got going on, it's harder it is to write. But I'm getting there. But I do have a whole lot more ideas for different pieces that I want to do this year. So it'll probably be a little bit more of a focus on, just doing some canvas pieces, and some digital prints too. But yeah, I don't know. I find when it comes to art, more and more, you just kind of have to strike while the iron's hot. The longer you wait on certain ideas, the harder it is to really capture it in the way that you want to. Also, I mean, it's just one of the things I listen to. I've been listening to Kevin Smith's podcast for a while, but I've really been listening to it a lot lately, because it's something I can kind of put in my earbuds while I'm at work and laugh and kind of like soak up, be a sponge and soak up different trivial bits of knowledge and funny stories and all that. And one of the things that he really stands behind is the whole kind of why not method, the whole do-it-yourself kind of way of thinking. And I find myself being a lot more like that. And I mean, it's one of the reasons why, as far as like my digital art goes, I mean, I've done work with other artists, but most of the time I do, I'm doing the pencils, I'm doing the inks, I'm doing the colors, because I like that kind of do-it-yourself mentality. Why wait on someone else to help you out when you can just get it done? So I'm taking that attitude with a lot. I'm taking it and trying to make broader strokes with that, in my personal life. And but it definitely extends to my art, and it extends to just kind of getting myself motivated to do things. And sometimes that's the hardest thing, is just to motivate yourself to pick up your pen and pencil or whatever you're using to create and do it. That's half the work right there. But once you get there and you've got a finished piece, whatever it is you're doing, then you can move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And you get your skill up, and you get your experience up, and before you know it, you've done a lot of things. You can look back on the things that you've done and said, hey, I didn't just wait around and wonder about doing it, I did it. So I don't know, that was a impromptu pep talk to myself, and hopefully to you too, whoever's listening to this. But we're getting a little bit closer to putting the final touches on Superman, and just kind of doing the. I always leave like the smaller parts, the smaller bits for my finishing touches. Mostly because you can kind of BS on those a little bit more than the big areas. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little distorted. I don't know what this is going to sound like until I play it back, but I've been having a really congested sinuses lately, so I apologize if I've been sounding like Ray Romano through this whole thing. It's not on purpose. But here we are. It's getting a little bit closer to finishing, just doing the little starbursts in the background. Again, guys, if you want to get in touch with me, it's pretty easy. Just you can contact me through Facebook, through Instagram, and or through my email. All that information will be at the end of the video. Or you can contact me right here on YouTube as well. I check all those things from time to time. Also, you can see all my artwork on DeviantArt. Well, not all of it, but a good portion of it on DeviantArt. And if you want to commission me, right now I'm taking commissions for various different projects, whether it be a CD cover, whether it be a poster, whether it be a present for a friend. Let me know. I am taking commissions right now. Send me an email at omniclipscomics@gmail.com. That's omniclipscomics@gmail.com. Omniclipscomics@gmail.com, and I will get right back with you, and we'll work something out. All right, guys, until next time, my name is Nick Rivers, and this has been Rivers Art Colors.